At the engagement party, my fiancé ditched me and ran off with his childhood sweetheart. Later, his best friend came to see me. How about a new groom? Dare to marry me instead? He asked me. I ended up getting my marriage certificate with Ethan Clark. Samuel North was furious. Selena Shaw, how dare you do this? Ethan hugged my waist and chuckled. I proposed it. What's wrong? At the engagement party, Samuel's childhood friend suddenly fainted. He was all worried. I'll take Lily to the hospital. In front of everyone, he picked up Lily Green and left the hall. I dragged my dress and chased them to the door. Samuel, can you ask a friend to take Lily to the hospital? If you leave now, what am I supposed to do? Samuel glared at me, disgusted. Selena, you're so selfish. You only care about yourself when Lily's like this. Then he drove off without looking back. Because of my fiancé's exit, the engagement party was a disaster. I became the biggest joke of the night. Later that evening, I checked Lily's posts. It said, it was just low blood sugar. Thanks to his help, he took such good care of me. The photo was a selfie of her leaning on Samuel's shoulder. I waited on the couch the whole night. By morning, Samuel finally came back, looking exhausted. He stared at the empty dining table, annoyed. It's so late. Where's breakfast? I looked at him and calmly said, I thought you'd already eaten with Lily. Samuel frowned. Lily was not feeling well, so of course I was looking after her. Why do you have to be so sarcastic? I've already promised to marry you. Can you just be reasonable? Stop acting like a jealous mess. It's making me tired. I only said one thing, and Samuel lost his temper. He snapped, Selena, if you keep being paranoid and making a scene, we're done. He was all over me like I'd done something unforgivable. We'd been together for 3 years, and every time we fought, I always ended up apologizing first. But this time, I didn't feel the usual pain or reluctance. I looked at him and muttered, let's break up. Samuel froze. Say that again? I repeated slowly. I said, let's break up. He laughed in disbelief, his voice full of mockery. Selena, remember what you're saying right now. Don't come crawling back to me begging for forgiveness in a couple of days. That was how he saw me, someone begging for his attention. I'd fallen for Samuel at first sight and chased him for a whole year until he accepted me. All his friends knew I couldn't live without him. They also knew that he didn't love me as much as I loved him. I didn't care. Even though he was always cold to me, I naively believed that one day, he would be touched. That was until Lily came back from abroad. That's when I realized Samuel could be gentle and considerate to someone. He ignored me, who was waiting in the rain, just to give Lily an umbrella. He forgot that I didn't eat onions but remembered that Lily liked her coffee with no sugar. He forgot our anniversary but remembered the promise he made to Lily when they were kids. He threw the birthday gift I made for him in the trash but showed off the tie Lily picked for him. My best friend had once told me, you won't stop until you hit rock bottom. Now, I finally hit the rock and felt the pain. The next day, I went to a bar alone to drink away my boredom. My best friend sent me a voice message. In the audio, someone asked Samuel, I heard you and Selena broke up again? Samuel replied, same old trick. She's always so dramatic and needy. Don't be like that. You can tell she loves you. I don't need her love. His dismissive tone hurt my feelings. Someone said, bet you anything. She'll come back to you within a week. Another said, a week's too long. I bet 3 days. They burst into laughter. Another voice cut through the laughter. Samuel, you're crossing the line. The room fell silent. Then, Samuel teased him, Ethan, if you like Selena, you can have her. I rubbed my sore eyes, not wanting to hear anymore. I immediately deleted the recording. It wasn't worth being upset over someone like him. From a nearby booth came a burst of laughter. I looked over and saw Samuel kissing Lily passionately. After a while, they finally noticed me. I stood up to leave, but Samuel followed me. Selena, had enough of the drama? He sounded annoyed. We were just playing a game. Lily and I were just messing around. Lily came over, looking pitiful. Selena, if you're mad, blame me. I lost the game. You don't need to apologize, Lily, Samuel said, shielding her. Turning back to me, he said, Selena, play nice. I'll give you an out now. If you don't take it, I won't offer one again. His tone was threatening, but I just found it funny. Samuel, have you lost your memory? I sneered, looking at him. We're broken up. Your offer isn't something I need. Walking out of the bar, I bumped into someone's chest. I looked up and saw Ethan. He was Samuel's friend, and we'd become friends over the past couple of years. On the way back, Ethan asked, are you really going through with the breakup? I nodded without hesitation, then laughed awkwardly. Guess I won't be a bride this year. Not long ago, I had sworn to Ethan that I would marry Samuel this year. Now, this was a slap in the face. Ethan lit a cigarette and asked, how about a new groom? I blinked. What? He looked at me seriously. Dare to marry me? I was stunned. He added, how about a bet? Marry me and see what happens. His voice was almost hypnotic. Before I could respond, he'd already stubbed out his cigarette and pressed me against the passenger seat, kissing me. The next morning, before I was even fully awake, Ethan dragged me to City Hall, where I ended up registering for marriage with him. Samuel stared at the empty cigarette box, feeling agitated. He thought, Selena hasn't come home for 3 days. It seems she's really mad this time, but so what? In the end, she will come back and beg me to forgive her. Samuel hesitated for a moment and sent me a message. Lily's birthday is the day after tomorrow. Want to come with me? I replied soon. Okay. Samuel couldn't help but feel smug. In his view, I couldn't live without him. On the weekend, Ethan asked me to join him for a dinner gathering. I went along, but I didn't expect it to be Lily's birthday party. At the door to the private room, Ethan asked, if you don't want to go in, I can take you away now. I shook my head and pushed open the door. Lily was flirting with Samuel. When she saw me, she looked surprised. Selena, I didn't know you'd come. Let me have the waiter bring another set of utensils. Samuel eyed me and Ethan suspiciously. How did you two meet? Ethan smiled. Selena is my wife now. Samuel jumped up. What nonsense are you talking about? Selena, you agreed to come to Lily's birthday to team up with Ethan to mess with me? How childish. I was confused. I'd never agreed to that. Ethan took my hand. Oh, Selena was in the shower, so I replied for her. Samuel raised his fist as if to hit Ethan, but one of his friends stopped him. Although they usually joked around, Ethan was the only heir to Clark Group, and his status was even higher than that of Samuel, who had assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars. None of the men there dared offend understand him. Ethan remained calm. You didn't cherish what you had, so don't act like you're all sentimental now. Samuel turned livid. Selena, how could you betray me? It was rare to see Samuel lose control like this, and I felt a strange sense of satisfaction. I smirked. What? You and Lily can act all lovey-dovey, but I can't marry someone else? Your double standards are really impressive. Lily immediately turned on the drama, her face full of grievance. Samuel and I are innocent. How could you slander us like this? If you keep making up rumors, I won't welcome you anymore. I rolled my eyes. Do you think I care about staying here and watching you two fake it? I followed Ethan out of the room, and behind us, we heard Samuel's angry curses and the sound of dishes smashing. Ethan pinched my cheek. You did well. I was a little annoyed. Did you bring me here on purpose? Ethan smiled. Just wanted those guys to know that now, you're Mrs. Clark. The title hit me like a punch to the gut. All my annoyance disappeared in an instant, replaced by warmth. The next day, after work, Samuel blocked me at the company entrance. He demanded, are you really with Ethan? I didn't hide anything. We've already registered our marriage. As for the wedding, he'll invite you once the date is set. To hell with the wedding, Samuel yelled hysterically. I won't allow it. You're mine. The one you love is me. Are you just upset that I left you at the engagement party? I'll marry you. You can go and divorce Ethan now. I promise I'll marry you tomorrow. I was stunned. If I had heard this a week ago, I would have laughed in my sleep. But now, hearing these words, I just felt like laughing. Samuel, it's too late, I said calmly. I don't love you anymore. Samuel grabbed my arm. We've been together for 3 years. You're really that heartless? I closed my eyes. You know it has been 3 years. Do you even remember how you treated me? Samuel fell silent. His hands dropped weakly. So, you won't forgive me, right? He asked. I didn't answer, but I turned and walked away firmly. Samuel called after me, and I stopped in my tracks. I heard him sneer. You think Ethan cares about you? Don't be stupid. He's just using you. Honestly, I was just as confused as everyone else about why Ethan chose me. I'd known him for 3 years, and I'd never heard of him showing interest in any girl. Samuel and his group always joked about it, and I had wondered if he just wasn't into girls. But like Ethan said, take a bet. I was willing to take the risk. After losing for 3 years, I didn't care if I'd lose again. Ethan and I had a flash marriage. I hadn't even met his family. Everything I knew about him came from what I'd heard from Samuel and the others. Ethan came from a wealthy family, but unlike the other rich young men, he didn't let his family's status dictate his life. He chose to start his business and work his way up. After we got our marriage certificate, I moved into his 3-room apartment in the city center. Ethan said it was our home. I made dinner and waited for him to come back. Eventually, I felt sleepy and ended up dozing off on the couch. When Ethan woke me up, I groggily asked, have you eaten? He hugged me and said, silly girl, it's already 11. Haven't you eaten yet? I glanced at the cold food on the table and nodded. Ethan ruffled my hair and said, I'll heat the food. We'll eat together. Watching him busy in the kitchen, I felt touched. By this time, he must have already eaten, but he still wanted to sit down and eat with me. Later, Ethan explained, my dad called me back this afternoon to deal with some things. I forgot to text you. I told him it was okay. After some thought, I told him about Samuel stopping by to visit me. Ethan immediately flipped me onto the bed and warned, you're my wife now. Don't think about other men. I laughed and pushed him off. I wasn't thinking about him. I was just wondering that since we've gotten married, when are we going to introduce our parents to each other? My parents lived out of town, and this marriage had been so sudden that I hadn't even had time to tell them I wasn't marrying Samuel. Ethan froze, then let me go. He faltered, let's wait a bit. I'll let you know once I've arranged it. I could tell he was just brushing me off. I remembered Samuel's words and felt bitter inside. When my best friend found out I had married Ethan, she was thrilled. Selena, you've hit the jackpot. He's the heir to the Clark family and the dream of every socialite, she exclaimed. When's the wedding? I'm going to prepare a great gift for you. I awkwardly laughed. I'm not sure yet. What? She exclaimed. You've got the certificate already, but you haven't even talked about the wedding? I felt even more embarrassed. Actually, we haven't even met each other's parents yet. My friend paused, then seriously said, don't tell me Ethan is gay. Is he using you as a cover for his sexuality? I thought of how passionate Ethan had been in bed, and my cheeks flushed. I don't think so. My friend was still worried. Selena, don't think I'm being nosy, but you know Ethan's background. If he has some hidden agenda, remember to get out early. I nodded and reassured her. Don't worry, I'm just treating this like a gamble. If it doesn't work out, we can part on good terms. I can even give up on Samuel, so. She kept glancing behind me, signaling something. By the time I realized something was wrong, it was too late. I turned around, and there stood Ethan, staring at me unhappily. The whole way back, Ethan didn't say a word to me. I felt a bit guilty, but I wasn't scared at all. The last thing I said to my friend wasn't a lie. I had loved Samuel for 3 years. I once thought I could never leave him, but in the end, I let go just like that. Ethan and I ended up together by pure chance. If he asked for a divorce tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone in this world should be self-dependent. Back home, Ethan didn't turn on the lights. Instead, he spun me around and pushed me against the wall, kissing me. He was desperate and angry. My legs went weak, and I had to cling to him. When I finally lost consciousness from exhaustion, I couldn't help but think, at least Ethan's desire for me isn't fake. In the following days, Ethan didn't come home. We silently started our first post-marriage Cold War. This was nothing new to me. In the past, whenever Samuel was upset, he would give me the silent treatment. It could last 10 days or even half a month. I had been used to it by now. What caught me off guard was that my parents suddenly came to see me. When I rushed to the hotel, I found them laughing and chatting with Samuel.